Yep.
Oh my God.
Peace.
I was working on
Welcome.
that.
We've had not only about 5 weeks of me not editing the show, but we've also had last week I wasn't available due to work constraints. But welcome back to Byron Compendium. He's going to break that guitar. I tell you, the guitar doesn't sit on the bottom thing. It leans against it. There you go.
I told you.
How many times I've found that guitar just precariously sitting and just ready to go smash. And nobody knows how to use that guitar stand.
That is the worst feeling when the guitar tips over, isn't it? Like you've
If
had
it
that
ain't
more
yours.
No, especially if it ain't yours, and it's got the word Martin on it. And then
Who touched my guitar?
Yeah, anything pre 1960, that's when you go oops.
Yeah. So yes, welcome back once again. It's been a while. We're in a new side of the studio here, just trying to mix it up a little bit because well, whatever. Because it can be boring if you don't. So welcome back. We missed last week, and we're going to try to pick up again on Coy Paradixio. We're just going to start picking songs because I don't even know which ones we've done yet. And Byron sent me a new song via email yesterday, and of course we're going to give that a listen. But what's new in your life?
Working quite a bit on. Actually, I finished it up this week. Was the song that you had sent me with the whistle.
The whistle song?
The whistle song.
Is it on here somewhere?
No, I haven't. I think it's almost completed. I think the song is. I just got into this whole thing about sort of the whistle. So we've talked about this before, but sort of like a 70s thing, and sort of the whistle to me was always the key to where the song was supposed to go. And to me, it's supposed to be about somebody strutting down the street and stuff like that. And I see all these cool cats today that have it. I'm more interested in those people that have the tattoos, but have the tattoos that like cover all their arms and stuff like that. And it's almost like there's no more room left for like I always think like just one tattoo sort of pops better than having just an armload of tattoos. And I started wondering like what happens when you get all the tattoos and you got no more room left.
Maybe it's just telling a story. You ever see there's an old movie with Rod Steiger called The Illustrated Man? And it was all about this guy who had tattoos from head to foot, and he was so unusual. Now you look at someone and you go, yeah, sure.
Yes, certainly people throughout history have used their body as to signify, they painted it and stuff like that. I just
Is this funny again? You sent me funny?
Yeah,
Okay. I'll make sure I got the right one.
Yeah, that's the one. But so I'm just sort of intrigued about how people just sort of identify themselves and what they consider cool and stuff like that. And that song that you sent me with the whistling, I always thought of of strutting down the street and stuff like that.
The cool guy.
The cool guy, yeah. And so you sort of sent me the backing tracks that you put together, and so so I went down the rabbit hole of the song you sent me for 2 weeks, and so I put my vocals together and stuff like that.
Well, it is interesting because I know the last episode we did, whatever number it is, you brought me like a little working part of it.
Right.
And I haven't listened to it since then, but I was listening to it, and then in the intervening 2 weeks, I would once in a while think, I wonder what he's doing with that. Like, you know, at some point when you're working on something, typically it's your own thing, but no matter what it is, you start off working on something. Tell me if your kind of process goes like nothing's working. You're throwing some stuff. Yeah, that's okay. And then something sort of grabs on.
For sure.
And you go, oh, wait a second. And then you get just crazy just like into it, right? And you can't explain to people that feeling when you just get a little hole in something. You just start pushing away at it, and sometimes you overdo it.
It is. It's exciting at the start because you start realizing the possibilities of what you can do with it, or once you find that nugget or those little pieces and stuff like that. And so that gets very exciting. And I think I told you last couple of weeks ago when I was doing it, I almost overindulged and I had too much that I had sort of put down on the plate. and it was almost becoming overwhelming because I sort of threw everything, all my ideas down on tape, and so you have to sort of go through it all, right? And
What's the best one?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta develop that.
yeah, at the time and stuff like that. So that's why you sort of go deep down in the rabbit hole and stuff like that. So I have to come to some sort of. I kept the integrity of what you gave me. I could have easily sort of moved stuff around. I generally kept what you from point A to point B. I think I edited one little bit to make it a bit shorter. But generally, it's just sort of one verse. I get to use the word Gaussian, which in my world, just using phrases and stuff like that. So I get to use the word Gaussian filter, looking through my Gaussian filter.
Any of us designers know the blur.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. And so I sort of look back and stuff like that. So I would suspect that I'll have a version to bring you next week of it. But the only thing that's missing, and so I'm going to ask you here about it, I put together some of the video, and I just sort of used sort of colors from the 70s, a couple of fonts from the 70s. But part of what inspired me was that video of your friend Rick and the pants that Kristen made of him strutting down the street and stuff like that. And so in my head, I would like, I just vision even just some pants, just somebody strutting, just to sort of tie the little parts of the video together, having somebody walking down. So I guess my question is to you, I said, well, I wonder if Steve would let me use at least the bottom half of Rick's video where he's just walking along, and it's Kristen's pants actually.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if I could use...
I don't think she ever took them back.
Ew, seriously? That is so gross.
She just kind of said they're yours now.
Well, yeah. Well, I would like... what do you think? Because I'd like to present it to you next week, but I just sort of need somebody... You showed me the video of... So Rick is the guy that you did a song for, and you did a video for, and Kristen made pants for, and he's strutting like the dude.
Well, it was episode whatever. We actually played it. I think we were with Brian, right? Because we were having a hoot about that. So we played Busted. You know, check back on episode 20 or something, wherever the hell it is. One with Brian. And you'll see the video. And my wife... this guy has a video, what you're talking about is like a 70s kind of Superfly guy, and the song's about him getting busted. And so she designed up this complete pimp outfit for him.
Yeah.
And we just let him walk around the market, and he ate it up, man. He walked around like he owned that place. And so Byron's talking about Rick strutting shots. And yes, he can use whatever. I don't think we'll ever run into a legal issue.
Yeah, because nobody will see the video anyways.
No, nobody saw Busted. I mean, it's sure. The only thing is that you would be working with a low-res version, because I think I only kept like a small, like a low-res version.
Yeah, well, that's fine, because I was going to just sort of...
Why wouldn't we just reshoot someone wearing a crazy pair of pants and just walking down a street?
Well, we could do that.
Or find stock video, which is the easiest way.
Well, I guess that would be my next question. Like, also, do you have any... I'm just sort of throwing it out to you quickly. Do you have any 70s inspired sort of stock
Oh, yeah.
video stuff?
Of course. Yeah, nostalgic video is a big mover on these stock video sites. So.
Yeah, well, I've already included some in this video. I mean, I'll throw it to you. Maybe you can make what I did better, but there's definitely some holes in it. I definitely see somebody sort of walking through the video.
I'll take a look, and I'm sure I'll find something, because I always find something.
Right, so I think I finished. I'm just sort of screwing around with my voice and stuff like that. But yeah, I kind of like the groove and stuff like that. Again, it's the whistle that would seem to me sort of to be the key to it. And although it seemed kind of out of not where it should be in the song, or even having a whistle in the song, now when I play it back with my vocals and stuff like that, it all sort of makes sense. Somebody
Now
tripping
you probably
along.
can't imagine without the whistle.
I can't imagine, and it's genius that you put the whistle in. I don't even know why you put the whistle in. Like, why did he put the whistle in, and why did he put it in there?
Well, I just said, you know what? I'm going to do this all just out of logic, just pull stuff out. I think I told you, I came up with the drums and the bass first, because typically when I'm writing something, it's not that I'm a great bass player or anything, but I wouldn't typically just have like the same 4-bar bass line going the entire song. Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah. Well,
dun,
yeah.
dun. And I said, screw it, just leave it and just see what kind of weird stuff. And like the first loop I found, just reaching into the bucket, it was like it came up whistling. I went whistle, and I threw it in there, and you can offset it anywhere, and it makes sense. It's just where you start.
Yeah.
I said there's so many times when you can take your straight ahead 4/4 song and just take your guitar part, wait till beat 2, wait till beat 2 and then do it. I mean, you can do some magic with that shit. I mean, because every progression is taken, every melody is taken. It's how you mash them up now, you know.
I know, it's a great feeling. You walk away going, I know, I know.
Or like, did I really mean to do that? I saw a video last night on melodic minor scale. There's this British guy who's a really smart musician.
With the Paul McCartney song.
He talked about the melodic minor, and yesterday he said, does Paul know he's doing this? Because he walks up the right way, and then he comes down the right way as a melodic minor.
Isn't it David Bennett?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah.
So, and then they have this little clip of Paul going, well, I don't know anything. I just go oodly-doodly. It sounds nice. I think that's so great. We both had shared that experience too. The first music program that I could sequence stuff in, and then you hit the notation and you see your music written. You go, wow, I did that. I couldn't write that in a million years.
It is crazy. Some of the music notation too, if you do a scale and stuff like that, some of them you can just sort of ask it to turn it into like a minor scale and all sorts of scales. Really interesting how
Mixolydian, Lydian, all this.
Yeah. And then you get to say that's what you did to your music, Mixolydian, Lydian.
I am so fascinated because I know nothing about it. Deep music theory, when I hear these guys talk about circle of fifths and melodic minors and modes as opposed to scales and stuff, it just blows my mind. I'm going, yeah. When they play all these samples, I go, yeah, I know what you're talking about. But when you describe it, but it's math. It's all math. It's just
it's crazy. It's crazy, and it's crazy for me because I never was good at math. And you start getting into territories that just start freaking me out. Especially when you have to write music down and stuff like that, and you get into like dotted 16ths and 30 seconds and stuff like that.
Well, like the start times. I think in that
slobbering
same
starts
video they
going
talked
down.
about George Harrison doing "Here Comes," I'm blanking on. "Here Comes the Sun." What the hell's that song called?
Here Comes the Sun.
Okay, geez, I blanked on the name
No,
all of
it
a
is.
sudden. Anyways, he was telling Ringo, he said, the beat, he said it's really like a 7/8 song. Ringo says, I can't help you. But when he hears it, he goes, oh, it's... I get it now. Like to describe it to someone like, a musician who understands it, you could just describe it and they would just play it.
Yeah.
But I would describe it and you go, I don't know. But then I play it and you go, oh, that.
Yeah.
Good thing someone has a language for it.
Sometimes you get into areas, especially rhythmic areas, that really sort of scare me because, like, sometimes I still don't get it. And my brain, you can tell me it's like me trying to read about quantum mechanics. Like, I'm really interested in it, but I still don't get it. There's the change in Edgar Winter's song. What's the famous song?
Frankenstein?
No, what's the other one?
Free Ride.
Free Ride. Okay, well, just that. Yeah, but it's the count coming. It's the drum thing. It's does he do it in 5? Is that 5?
Well, he comes in on. Well, I'd have to count it out.
I never get it.
It's because the guitar starts on a weird. It starts on an and, because I know that intro off by heart. If you give me a count in, I never get it right.
I never get it right. I kept replaying it. I still don't get it.
But if I just pick up and start playing it, it sounds, you recognize it. But the whole thing of when it comes in, my God.
I don't, and so I always have a thing like I like to count.
We're exposing ourselves here.
Well,
for
no,
frauds
but
that we are.
like when I hear songs, especially when they sound very interesting to me. I always try and figure out the time signature, and
Yeah.
I'm always
Count it
counting out
out.
the beats and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And, and sometimes like I just feel so lost, and I think like, boy, am I retarded.
Well, yeah, but someone will say it's 3/4 time. I go, oh no, I counted it out and it's 12/16. You know, because of the groupings, right, and the melody and all. But at the end of the day, we're all right. You know, as long as at the end of the day you play it and it sounds the same as me. You go, well, you know, like you said, with like quantum mechanics, you don't even have to understand it; just know that it works.
Yeah, we always used to bake our brains. I used to remember in high school doing Take Five, Dave Brubeck's Take Five, and
Nothing like aiming high.
what was the other thing that we that was the funny count? We did the Pink Floyd song, the Money song, 7/4. I always remember, and I remember. Just my brain just never just counting it out and stuff, just doing the extra beat and stuff like that. Yeah, it's always a mind fuck.
There's we played in the band with John James and Eric Wilson. We we did Tragically Hip, Little Bones. It starts on and off, and I could never get it. We play it live all the time, and each night I'd be just dreading that song coming up, going, I'm going to try it a different way tonight. Luckily, all the guys would sort of start at the same time, and we'd end up fixing it as we go. But I had the damnedest time, because I would have to start it, because it would go down, and then they start on the oh my God.
Yeah, so that's one of the great things about sort of putting stuff down on a computer and stuff like that, especially with pickups and stuff like that. So in a band, especially if you have like a 3.5 beat pickup guitar lick or something like that, trying to count it in properly and stuff like that for the band. Yeah, you got to, well.
I always felt that
know what you're doing.
you know, we're obviously always bashing our own abilities. I was always very confident on my meter, only because I spent 15 years working on a drum machine. So and playing in a band and all, so my meter is really good. My understanding of theory and stuff is sketchy, which is why I don't play more interesting music.
I would say
I'm not good enough.
it's I was just saying to you, I was just been listening to a lot of sort of Beatles bootleg recording from specifically the Abbey Road album and Sgt. Pepper. Ringo Starr, his drumming is just fantastic. The sound of it and just his beat and stuff like that.
He was so great because he didn't show off. He just
just-
did the absolute perfect thing each time.
It's wonderful.
I mean, I hate to say, come together, but when you think of that, like, who's over that beat other than Ringo? And he never, like, not never, but, it got so perfunctory that at the end of a roll, he wouldn't. The song, it's not listen to me, I'm going to hit my smash cymbals all the time,
It is wonderful, and it's something that I think that I sort of, as a musician, being around a computer for the last 20 years, I think I've lost. I don't think I could play in a band or play a straight rhythm. I'm so dependent on the machine to
play
keep
a whole
time.
song. That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, no, and I think we talked about it recently. I picked up the guitar and trying to play a whole song in time and stuff like that. Yeah, I think I've become very dependent on that.
Well, I'll tell you what, we can go on forever, but why don't we move on to the first part's meat of the meal here. So, Funny, this is your song Funny again.
Right, so this came from Coy Paradixio. It was the only one that didn't get a video for it. It's a wonderful song.
But this is on the album.
It is on the album.
But it doesn't have a video, so how does that happen?
Well, now it's actually, it made all the more sense for me to make a video for it or put lyrics and put it on my YouTube channel because now it's out there. I don't think anybody bought the CD, so
what?
It's out there. But it's so this song originally I had written for Susie, and for whatever reason we didn't finish it or do it. And so I did it, and so there's me and Susie on it. There's also Al Bragg is on it, playing some steel. I didn't do any artwork because I thought the lyrics just looked fine the way they were. And it's a wonderful little song.
This
Funny,
is-
ha ha. But I'm happy to put
Funny
this
how
on.
it goes.
Yeah.
This song, I know, has bubbled back to the surface a few times over the last 10 years, 15 years or so. Different iterations as you develop things. It's almost like a painter, you know, that's like, this might be 4 of 6, you know, like 4 takes on. I don't understand why you can't go back and do a different take on your own song. I know some people do, like someone will do it acoustically, but do a whole different take on it, you know. It'd be neat for someone who has a big album to go and redo his whole album different. Like just writing the songs differently, but the same lyrical, maybe the same melody, but instrumentation and you know, yeah, whatever.
So the song is fundamentally about being in a relationship, and I mean people carry their own secrets to the grave, and so it's just a song. I just sort of extrapolated that and just made it a song about two people completely who have been together but who have completely betrayed each other all along.
Happy times.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Shall we dive in?
Sure.
Here we go. This is funny.
Funny how it goes, gone. I tried to tell you, but it all comes out wrong. Sweetie, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Is it anyone? Who's laughing now? Funny how time flies. This is not easy, but you've been living a lie for as long as I loved you. Isn't it funny? Who's laughing now? If you get old, you might stop your crying. I'm so beautiful. Is it any wonder? If you were me, is it any wonder? Funny how time flies when you're having fun. Should you be smiling after what I have done? Well, sweetie, don't tell me. Just tend to confess. I guess you had to be there. Is it any wonder? I'm so
Nice.
I thought it was very effective, not having any artwork and just having lyrics. Did you find the same, just with the lyrics, just the black and white and the...
Yeah, I really like the font. Where'd you find that font?
It was just on the list. I looked for something sort of old-fashioned. I like a lot of the Woody Allen starts the movies.
Manhattan stuff.
They just had very classic, sort of old. It looks like
Almost like Art Deco.
Yeah.
But it's very serif-y, of course.
Yeah. Sorry, what is that, Sarah?
When letters have the little things at the end, that's called serif. And so when you have a sans serif font, it's just like Arial. No little twills or anything.
Oh, okay.
That's serif and non-serif.
Do you yourself, when you do your artwork and stuff like that, your font? Do you have a place you go to get your fonts? Or
Yes, it's the best in the world. Dafont.
Dafont?
DA font. I'll show you. And this is my little plug for Dafont. If every time I'm looking for anything, I just go Dafont. There's Dafont, download fonts. They're all free. There's thousands and thousands.
Oh, okay.
Accept and close. Yeah. So. Anyways.
Okay, I'll go back. Okay, so
Dafont.
if you go back to my YouTube channel, I actually put down a video, a very short one from Coy Paradixio called Vicolo Stolato Cluster. Should be.
Right here. You want to hear this? 49 seconds.
Yes.
This can end our first half.
Yes. So the interesting thing is, sorry.
No, I'm just saying. So funny. Just wanted to quickly get out. About 4/5 through, I thought I heard some new stuff, or is that just a reworking of something?
I think by the time I ended up doing something with it, it might have had a couple of sessions worth of different.
Okay.
And I just wanted to get it all.
And the klezmer drums. I'm a sucker for those klezmer drums. Have you noticed
Yeah.
the whistle song in the middle eight? I
Yeah.
think that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
That it's late and nice sloppy, but it's
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
great snare drum sounds.
It brings some humanity.
You can never go wrong with klezmer drums. You're getting tired of something, just throw in some klezmer drums.
So I quickly went through my album.
We're moving on now.
Sorry.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
No, I'm just telling the
I think
viewers
you
so they
should
can
keep
stay with
playing,
us.
You want to keep playing the drum again?
I'm spitting all
That's
over
beautiful.
here, coronavirus.
So just quickly about this quick video. I wanted, so I was just going over my album, just like what did I not have videos of? And so this was 49 seconds, so I thought, okay, this would be nice and easy. So this is about like a star cluster, eh?
Star cluster A. Is that star cluster A or star cluster B on the...
Well, it's supposed to be a star cluster, so I wasn't quite sure where I got the name from. So I actually Googled Vicola cluster, and you know what appeared? All these searches for, like it's a
girls'
name...
private parts?
No, it's a name that I had sort of done on. It's like when you Google Coy Paradixio, like that's
The only thing that comes up.
yeah. So the only thing that comes up is my name and that song, and like there's things like iTunes. It said you can find it on iTunes, and one said you can find it. You can find it on Spotify.
Have you released your songs?
Well, you had me when we did the Juno thing. You had me put Coy Paradixio on iTunes. So yeah, you can go to iTunes and find it there.
Oh,
and so
how much are you making?
I've never gone to check.
I see the Hoobler albums on like dozens of sites. I'm thinking, did someone get a hold of 5 of those albums and they're selling them for like $20? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, well, they had Coy Paradixio and Spotify in the same sentence. Like I didn't. I said like whatever. Okay, so just quickly
Okay.
play. It was just a quick.
So
quick
this is a
look.
little 50-second dealio.
It was
Vicolo Stoloto cluster.
It was no biggie, but I did
Okay.
it.
Well,
It was just fun
let's
to
just
do.
see what's happening with
It was fun. I felt no skin in the game on this one, so I just
All right.
just sort of played with it. Yeah, so The only thing I can say about this,
That's quick.
And I did it like it looks so cool at night in my dark room,
Yeah.
and having this, like, I just love the glow light stuff. So it was just fun, really fun.
Well, I recognize the motif, the musical motif from Coy Paradixio. Yes, I love using masks. Are wonderful, like in design and stuff, and how you don't know what letter's there until it starts to get brighter. It's so cool, and you can go down, where we think that, and we know that musically we spent fucking months on songs. You can spend years if you want. Video just times it by 10, only because of the potential of what you can do. Not what your intent is artistically, but if you're liking just, you can endlessly go, and
It's crazy.
you start bringing in, and I think we both agree that I'd much rather see lyrics in a video than someone trying each time to impress me with like visual. Like the only thing I'd like to see you try is having the words come up as they're spoken. Because you seem to put them in 2-line chunks or 4-line chunks, which is great. Just as a difference thing, to sort of animate them just as they're being said almost.
Sure, and I will do that. I must say, like, I've been putting out so much this year. Like, I almost feel like I got to stop at some point, because, like, I just feel like overloaded. There's so much music I want to put out on YouTube, but it just becomes every day. Like, what am I going to draw? And like, I've done so much artwork the last 3 years, like so much. But I just wonder, I should, just creatively. You talk about being creative. I've never, I don't stop, and sometimes I wonder, I should stop for a bit, or stop for a week or something like that. I don't know whether I can, but
Well, you told me about 25 years ago when I said to you,
I know,
because you would have a song, we'd start working on it, then you'd walk in the next day and go, I got a new one, we should start on this one, and I say, why don't we just finish it? And you'd say, these are my salad days, mate. I have to keep doing it while I can do it, because I might wake up tomorrow and never write another song.
I think it's pretty well looking like that day will be the day when I expire off this planet. I think I'm just going to keep going. But sometimes it just becomes overwhelming just to keep doing all this again and again, or trying to come up with some smarmy ideas. I wish I could animate better. That's my big wish. That, and play Cole Porter songs on the piano. I wish I could really do that well. That would be a fun thing to do.
Yeah, but I also, funny just to take it back to funny for a sec, I really got that intent from it was more of an older song that is more the Tin Pan Alley songwriting. It's not trying to impress you with. It's a great guitar line, which is also, I find it weird, not only the way you play, because you like to really bang on those, like when you're scraping down those fractured chords. The recording sounds weird. The guitar. Did John record that, or you record that?
That's the Baby Taylor, and I question whether that was the guitar to use when it was recorded for that song.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a classic guitar sound.
It's kind of a little boxy.
Well, I kind of like it. It's your stuff is always very heavily compressed. Like everything sounds like it's right here.
Right.
Which is a stylistic choice, and I like it personally. Right. So the guitar is fine in it. I just think that it's not your standard acoustic guitar rendering.
Yes, absolutely. You have to ask Brian about some of those decisions.
So you played it, Brian recorded it?
I think I did a lot of the recording previous to Brian on this. I think that the stuff that has just been, I think vocally, he might have set me up for for a vocal session. But I think all that Susie stuff came from my sessions when I was hoping Susie could sing that song. She never finished it, so I did it.
Yeah, it seems like a few of the songs, you could look at it like she didn't finish the song, or she just comes in certain parts and doubles. I always liked the way you and her did that thing together, Nice.
Yes, the line "Who's Laughing Now" sounds so sweet, and I love the sound of our voices together. Absolutely.
That's where I got I don't know what couple it is, from like a black and white movie singing this song,
Absolutely, it'd be one of those. And I
Like
mean,
a true love sort of thing.
it is, and it's the truest source of betrayal. I mean, you hear those things about people that have spent lives with somebody, and they find out all the girlfriends show up at the wedding, and
I just read a story this morning. I always read the London Mirror. It's London's this stupid gossip magazine style newspaper, and it always has, man waited 8 years to get back at wife, surprises her on wedding day, and like has a picture of her and his best friend or something. And who's laughing now? It's true. It's like funny how it goes.
it's brutal.
It is
can
brutal.
be just so brutal.
Well, that's a good first
Okay.
half, mate. What do you
All right.
think?
That's
Okay,
good.
we'll join you up in the second half for another. Well, we did a couple of Coy Paradixio songs here.
Heute spielt die Musik auf, jeder freut sich drauf. Die Musik spielt so schön, man kann sie immer hören.
Semolina Pelcher
Semolina.
climbing up the Eiffel Tower.
I know. I wish I could write stuff like that.
That's one of my all-time favorite Beatles songs. Absolutely, can't.
So who are we, of course? Nice tune.
So that's for sure. He wrote that on piano.
Weird.
He for sure he wrote that on piano. But another, so that was a song I was listening to on YouTube recently, where they just had George's guitar part, which I guess he did on that Telecaster he was playing. But the interesting thing about that song too is the score of George Martin, where he had all those the swoopy strings, but he also had the vocal arrangement where he had oompa oompa, stick it up your joompa, and all the those lady voices going.
That was George Martin?
Yeah, George Martin scored all those voices because he used to do that for his previous.
Well, he did the comedy troupe, right?
Right.
There's Peter Sellers and what was her name? The damn.
Hard to remember, but he had experience in that. So yeah,
The Goons.
yeah, right. So he scored all those voices like that. So all those great woo, and you hear all that stuff. He scored all that, and it's just wonderful how he was able to sort of put that montage on with.
Well, it's like, can you
George's
imagine
stuff.
if someone just assigned Byron, this musical genius who could figure stuff out for you, and just sat there and said, "What's your next idea?" Well,
Yeah.
this is what I want to do. And he goes, "Well, here's what we can do," and put a harpsichord in it, or like something that just bang.
Well, I wonder what it was like when they first listened to the playback of after he scored it and had recorded it, and then he goes, George goes, "Well, here, boys, this is what I did for you." I mean, what those guys.
It's tough, you know. I watched like as much as we
Just
talk about the
phenomenal.
Beatles and all. I saw a clip when Paul had written. Is it Some Other Guy Now or something for the Rolling Stones? Because the Rolling Stones said, "Oh, you guys wrote a song." And they said, "Yeah, we have one for you." And they
I want to be your man.
I Want to Be Your Man. And they showed the Stones doing horrible. Mick Jagger's voice is so bad. I mean, I like their songs. Don't get me wrong. I like art that's not so great, I guess. But just listening to him, like as opposed to listening to early Beatles stuff, where they can just sing. They're like athletes, you know.
So
The Stones. It's amazing that they managed to come up with those songs they did because they're not very good. Sorry, Stones fans.
No, it is true, and I've said it at the start of this video. When we talk about the Beatles. I've always said, I mean, the driving for all their genius that they were as musicians, it was their vocals. It was specifically John and Paul's ability. They sang like no other vocalist, And I've always stuck with that. I think Lennon's voice is incomparable to anybody's that I've ever heard. Two things that I've heard over the last 2 weeks that I haven't seen you is I saw a quote from Bob Dylan, who
It's been all over the news recently.
who talked about the Beatles' voices, like John Lennon's and Paul's voice. Yeah, which I totally concur with. When they were the two main songwriters, and the two main songwriters are probably two of the best vocalists ever. It's just ridiculous in the extreme. And I forget the other thing I was about to say.
You said Bob Dylan commented on their vocals. And I was talking about the Stones being the other side of the equation. Hearing Mick Jagger's like, whoa.
Right. And I've listened to a lot of... there's been stuff on YouTube that isolate vocals. And a lot... I know it's not your favorite time of the Beatles, but a lot of the early stuff, John took the lead. And there's some songs that he sang, like Mr. Moonlight. I don't know whether it starts with an a cappella scream, Mr. Moonlight. His vocals are to die for, and when you hear them isolated, you even have a better like these guys were doing it first, second takes, and his vocals are beyond compare. They're stunning works.
Yeah, again, there wasn't a lot of gimmickry to hide behind in the early days. And so you had to do it. Now, I was never a big fan of the early Beatles doo-woppy stuff, but I appreciate where they went to, of course.
Right. So you say doo-woppy. They did. There is a certain genre, real rock and rollers like Bad Boy and stuff like that, where Lennon's really going for it. And as somebody who sings and stuff like that, I was just in awe listening to his performance. And McCartney, just to have the both of them, and when they harmonized, of course, they came listening from the Everly Brothers, so they had these gorgeous harmonies, and McCartney sits so perfectly on top of Lennon. McCartney was almost perfectly pitch perfect. To hear both of them sing is
It's funny too as well because everybody knows that catalog so well, and they can sing along with all the songs. But if you ask people, just sing one of the parts, because people will mux up each guy's part, and sing whatever is that prevailing note, but if you listen closely to their parts, you go, holy shit, this guy's singing a contrapuntal part that is not picked up by most people, but overall you hear it as the Beatles. But if you listen to those individual parts, one guy's singing such a great harmony, beside it.
The famous one is the one from Abbey Road, Because, which they've isolated, and you can. And
they even think that's the best thing they may have ever recorded.
Yeah, and you hear the vocal alone version of them singing it and stuff like that, and so they'd be in their late 20s. It's stupid.
Yeah,
it's stupid.
And even
they
George
should not
Harrison.
be allowed to be doing that good of a song.
Anyways, this is not the Beatles compendium. This is the
it
Byronic
is. I mean,
compendium.
it's just you keep going back to it, and I don't think I ever get.
Right?
I never get disappointed. I just keep going. Wow.
It's true, and we never make any excuses for that.
And they keep peeling back the layers, and every layer you hear, you just keep going, oh my God, it's as good as you always dreamed it was.
And it's not going to be too long before the world is mourning the loss of Paul. I mean, God, he's 77 now. You certainly don't see him playing live anymore. Like, the last couple of times I saw him, it was, I think Ringo might be the sole survivor when this is all said and done. He looks like he's getting better all the time.
He does.
Good for him.
McCartney, McCartney, peace and love. McCartney, what a monster, absolutely. But very interesting, though, that Starr, after the Beatles broke up, Starr probably had one of the better earlier solo careers. He had a lot of singles.
Photograph?
Yeah, he had quite a few singles out there.
Yeah. As much as I love Ringo, man, he was in a great spot. He had the tools to do it. But anyways, let's move along here. So the Byronic Compendium. The first half we listened to Funny, or a redo of Funny. We listened to Vicolo
Stolato Cluster. A name I made up.
Yeah, he made up, which he's fond of doing. Is there a song proper on Coy Paradixio you want to listen to in this half? I'll just call it up here as you entertain the home viewers.
Are we gonna listen to one more?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Well, go pick one at random then. I think go listen to the title song.
Coy Paradixio? There's a song called Coy Paradixio?
Yeah.
This is, I know
Which one
Byron
is that?
stuff more
Which
than
one?
Byron, and
Will
I
you look up,
don't
second one, huh?
know. Yeah,
I
did you
don't
not put titles on these things anyway?
Probably not.
Okay, well,
Stupid website.
well, maybe it's the first song. What do you think?
I don't know. Play the first song.
Let's see.
What
We're
is
just
it?
taking
Okay,
random.
no, that
Nope.
is it. Okay, go to the other side.
Okay, go here.
No, no.
What's the, you tell me? No. What's this one? I'm just clicking through. Ooh, that was cool.
Okay, we'll play this one.
Okay.
This would be for this.
Wait a second. I'm going to talk over top of it.
Oh, okay. Well, this is.
Jeez, I'm sorry. I'm just going to stop this. I can just, stop this and start at 12. Stop, you damn thing.
So I think some of this actually comes from.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
So some of this comes from the alien, the rabbit, and the monkey. But I think the most important thing is that the video is the day that you and I spent together for Coy Paradixio, and we went riding around in the car and stuff like that. And,
Right.
We did video and stuff like that. So I think this is I think this little montage I put together of our day together.
Okay. I'm just confused about the music because I thought this was off of The Alien, the Rabbit, and the Monkey too.
Yeah, I think it looks like I had taken something from the alien, the rabbit, and the monkey. I just wanted, a touchstone to something I'd done previously and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I certainly love it. And why don't we just take a quick listen to it? I don't even know the name.
So
of it.
I think.
Well, other than Freak of Nature.
Sure, I don't know. Who knows? I think I just wanted to put something together for us or something.
Okay, well, this is our time at the studio.
Yeah.
Recording tracks for Coy Paradixio.
It was a fun day. That
Yeah,
we spent
I don't think
with
we
the
had
video.
any intention for any video for any
No.
song. It was like, let's just go out and videotape.
No, we
rolling
just
around
went
the
and
car.
videotaped. Yeah.
Okay, so this is that. Here we go.
Yeah, you had a new GoPro and stuff like that.
And the stars up above, there's the moon, my love. She likes to rumba, the cucaracha, the bossa nova like evil Knievel.
Yes, that's what happened quickly, isn't it?
Who's got a boyfriend with sister stays put? His daddy keeps his darling locked to his lemon tree. Just you wait till your father gets on. Don't you know that your father knows so long, farewell. I don't know a better way to say I wanna thank you, love, 'cause you're the best one that I ever had. I don't know a better way to say I wanna thank you, girl, 'cause you're the best one
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that in 12 years, but I'm very happy to see that. It's just good memories. It's incredible that it's like 12 years ago and stuff like that, eh? Like, oh my gosh.
Yes, well, I can almost remember exactly the day when you came in. We were doing that. There was other people doing sessions there. We were walking through like a couple of 15-year-olds videotaping you.
It was good, but when you consider the amount of time we just spent 3 hours, 4 hours, but it's stuff that we've kept forever and we have forever, and it's just wonderful. Just sort of a shot in the day at your studio.
Yes, I always look back on these things and go, thank God that you started doing it when you did. I mean, you wish we would have been doing stuff right from the start. Just even if it's embarrassing, back then it was more embarrassing than anything. But looking back now, you have fond memories because it was youth and it was fun and it was. This wasn't that long ago. I mean, God, we were still, middle-aged men, but...
it's crazy. Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
Can you imagine having to start now with the wide-open creative tools you'd have? Like, you probably never get an album done.
It's an interesting thing. Whether kids now just sort of... back then, we just had a guitar, right? And in your bedroom, basically, we had to sort of figure things out. And... Now the tools are so technology allows more people to.
Yeah, and I know it sounds old manish, but I'm happy that we had the time that we did in the low tech world because it makes you appreciate stuff and understand, the origins of creative impetus. How you would have to get that done. We were Foley artists. We were coming up with all kinds of stuff on our own. I remember the one time I mixed an album for Joe Shalom, the Lebanese guy who did The Big Boy. We mixed a whole hour long, like his album was supposed to be live at a restaurant. So when we did the mix, he went, oh yeah, by the way, I want you to mix this and I want it to sound like a restaurant. So we set up a dining table in that downstairs studio in Lenore Place, Kristen and I, and Joe Shalom. We had 3 place settings. And as the record spooled off, we would had a mic live and like, oh hello, yeah, and clinking our glasses, and now you just Foley in a restaurant sound, but that was fun to do it that way.
I think we've been very lucky to sort of grow up at the time we have. The technology that's changed, we've talked about over these podcasts, the technology and the changes, especially in music and stuff like that, have been profound, and so it's kind of cool now because from low tech to high tech, there's just so much more tools at our disposal and stuff like that. So it's quite enjoyable. I just wish I had another 100 years left to sort of get it all out.
Yeah,
it's kind of late in the party.
And all the tools we're getting, this Mac, all the solid state stuff, man, it is just ripping through stuff.
It's gorgeous to look at. Like it looks like a beautiful tool.
All the tools along the way were really the only barriers to an insane run of creativity. That you think of how many times you spent figuring stuff out. Why isn't this working? Why isn't that? I mean, almost half the time is spent, troubleshooting. But as stuff gets better and better, more time is spent on real creation.
Yeah, tools are relative. I mean, certainly at some point in time, the artist was able to bring purple into his palette. I'm sure that was just a fantastic time where you're sitting around going, I wish I had purple paint and I can't
or
get
blue,
it.
Yeah, or blue,
or whatever they said. It took more longer to get than just getting it. So back then, that was the technology, just even having colors. But now it's almost too profound because everything's at your disposal. So that's a great thing, but that's just a bad thing.
And that's what I was saying is that
very overwhelming.
If you had been coming of age now, you might be spoiled for choice. You might be in a mental hospital because you got too many things to choose from.
I don't doubt it. That's what I always say. Sometimes I always think I should just put it all away and just take a guitar and a microphone and a 4-track and just lock the door and then write your music that way.
No, it's true. And I think a lot of good artists do that. They like I always said, you were a master at melodies and riffs and ideas, and that's it. It's all idea generation. What spurns you, and I'm not sure many artists could just take a guitar or their instrument of choice and come up with an album. Can you? I think that's real creativity, and I know it's not totally gone now, but what we are at now is a visual artist who's appealing to young people, and they hire 40 songwriters, and nobody plays an instrument.
Certainly, yeah, it seems to be one way of the world. There's many others.
Wow, how about we end on that happy note?
Thank you for bringing that.
Yay! Peace
That's
and
good.
creativity.